Hello, welcome to my video of Tomb Raider 2 Glitchless tutorial. Today is gonna be about Great Wall, but before that, small introduction. Explain to you how things are gonna be in this tutorial because it's gonna be slightly different than in the glitch one. So I made a glitch tutorial mainly about the different glitches, how to make them, and a lot of extra things like hard jumps or some explaining the buffers, etc. So I wasn't at all about the sequences, about movement in general, because most important for people when they start for glitch is the glitches themselves. So I was more into that, but in Glitchless, because Glitchless is all about movements, I mean, once you nail the hard jumps, it's all about movements. There can be still like 2 or 3 minutes differences at least between people nailing all the hard jumps, but differences about movements can lead to 3 minutes, for example, or even more. So I'm going to enter into more detail about that, about the sequences, the optimizations, and the routing. So that's how it's going to be. So even if you are doing glitch category, this tutorial can be interesting to you because a lot of parts of a glitch restaurant share the same as the glitch one. And I'm going to talk about the sequences of all of that. So even if you do glitch, there are sequences that you might be interested in this tutorial. Also, I'm going to talk about the routing, because the routing in glitch is super simple, but in glitchless is really much harder than that. So what I did is I created a spreadsheet based on Midget's spreadsheet, and I added the routes. I did 2 routes because basically there is an easy route and a hard route. So easy route is mainly about being secure with meds and with ammo, and a hard route is really optimized with RNG hell in floating island and skipping triplets in offshore league, etc. Everything is going to be explained in every video, and there will be a spreadsheet link in the description that you can download and you can change it as much as you want. But by default, it will have both the hard and the easy routes written. So basically, there will be everything. There will be the meds management, what meds you will pick up, how many meds you will have in the end of every level, what number of meds you're supposed generally to use, and etc. for both routes. There also is a flare management sheet. So how it works is basically this is a table with every flare you're gonna use in the game and every pickup you're gonna pick up, and you can modify that as well. And there is only one sheet for both routes for this because this is mainly the same. I added some notes where you can add flare cancels in some situations for beginners because you will avoid doing harder stuff. So that's why. So I did a note about that. Just if you switch, don't forget to switch back to, like, if you had a flare cancel somewhere, remember to remove one somewhere else from the spreadsheet, because in the end you won't have flare if you do that, if you don't do that. And there is also an ammo sheet. There will be 2 ammo sheets, one for hard, one for the beginner routes. How it's gonna work is simple. There will be written the auto, Uzi, shotgun, M16 and grenade management in every level. There will be the number of pickup, the number of ammo of each weapon you are gonna have to use generally using the route I'm gonna show you. And I'm gonna explain in every level the differences. Like if there is a difference, I will explain to you what are the difference between the 2 routes when the moment will come. So I did that with the help of Midget, so thanks to him. And also I will do some saves. I will do saves files that I will put in the description to download. I will do save files for every start of every level and for both routes. And I will do another one where you will have only the hard stuff in the game to practice. So the introduction is over, so now let's go for Great Wall. Okay, let's go. So first of all, what you want to do is you want to hold forward at the first frame of a level. So what you just do is you press forward until the passport closing. This is easy. and then you're gonna jump when your game started. So why do you do that? Because if you press forward the first frame of a level, Lara will have forward momentum. That's what's gonna be. So I'm gonna show you first what happens if you don't. If you don't, you get this sequence, and you can get stumbleless here, but it doesn't matter. What matters is that this sequence is weird. You need to curve, and it's harder and slower than what I'm going to show you. But if you press forward, you have momentum, and you just jump 2 times, and you will have this sequence directly. So that's much better than what's happening if you don't do it. So that's the first sequence you want. And then I'm going to show you the sequence I do. So what I do is I jump once here, then I do 1 other jump, 1, 2, 3 steps, and then I do this. So this is the first sequence I want to show you. So first I'm going to show you where you need to land. Basically you want to land here, because if you land much right, you won't make the jump like this. Oh, well, you will make it here, because it was still good enough, but I got a stumble landing, so I wouldn't be able to roll immediately and I would have lost half a second. But if you jump here, for example, you won't be able to make the jump. And if you jump here, oops, well, it still works, but if you jump, please. Okay, so if you jump too much left, you won't be able to land either. So you have to be careful about that. You need to jump where I showed you, basically here, and you will be okay. So why do I do a back forward twist here? Because if I don't, that's gonna happen. So you still land, but you will have Lara have a slight animation when she lands, and if you backstep, it will be longer than if you just roll. Why? Because when you land, Lara has an animation that she doesn't have before rolling. And you can't cancel it doing anything. Well, you could cancel it with a flare cancel, but it wouldn't be worth it. So what we just do, we just do a back twist in order to roll. So here, 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 like this. It doesn't matter if you land here or whatever. You will have to curve for the next sequence anyway. So that's the first sequence. There is also another one. You can do an alternate one. You don't have to twist the first jump. You can twist the second jump. You can just run forward here and do a twist here, and you can still make it. Same position, same lineup. This is exactly the same, except you twist at the second jump. So this is really your preference. So my sequence is jump here, then count 1, 2, 3, twist, jump, twist, roll, and I'm here. And then I'm able to perform the next sequence. So the next sequence is, I want to do this sequence, basically. I want to land here, jump here, and climb. So this looks pretty easy, but it's a bit tricky. So you can, in order to do it with a twist, you basically need to practice your curving. And once you get used to the curving, you will know exactly when you have to release the left button to stop curving, like this. Or you can even, like if you are too much left, you can press right again to recover it somehow. So if you grab. So basically what happens, you either, oops, do the right curving, like I'm gonna try to, oops, wow. Like this, wow, it wasn't good here. But I'm gonna show you again. Okay, let's back here. So you can just do the right curve left here, and just do that. Or if you go too much left, like I'm gonna try to, you can recover me there, pressing right and go here. So there is no magic explanation, this is a lot about practice. You can also do it with a jump forward, like this for example. Do this and then you turn. This is slightly slower, as you will need to do an extra turning with pistol. As you can see, you land here, you need to turn a bit more than if you would done with a twist. But this is much easier because you can direct Lara however you want, contrary to a twist. Basically, my visual point is this white texture here. This texture is basically my visual point to land. And once you're close to it, you are able to jump here and up and climb. So there's another thing I want to talk to you about. There's two things actually. First thing is, if you press forward, if you just press jump if you're too far away, for example, here you will see I need 2, 3, 4 jumps maybe, even 5. So you need 5 jumps, for example. But if you hold forward while jumping, you don't jump forward like this. You press jump, and when she starts jumping, you just press forward like this. She will need only 2 jumps or 3. She'll need 3 jumps here. So it means that if you press forward when you're jumping, when you're doing a standing jump at least, you will go slightly further. So this, if you want to recover, this is good to know. Another thing, if you're here, you won't be able to climb. Even though Lara seems to be high enough, she won't climb the edge here. She will never do it. So it's the same as if you are here, you won't be high enough. That's the thing. You need to be at the extreme right of a platform here to be able to grab it. So this is something need to be mentioned. And then there is the next sequence. Next sequence is pretty much easy. I'm going to show you only one because I think that's the only one that is worth. Well, there is a sequence where you just do that, for example, and stop for a bit, etc. But that's super long, for example, so I'm not going to show those kind of strats. I'm going to show the strat that is quite easy and the fastest possible, probably, except if you're using advanced movements. So you basically want to turn. You want to standing jump forward, stick to the wall here, trying to curve right, and then you just back twist and jump. So, show you again, you turn, standing jump, up, and you can make it. You have to turn really left, because if you do a standing jump from here, she won't land. So you really need to kind of aim to the corner here. Jump forward. This is important to curve here, because if you don't, you will be here and you will have to curve a bit and you won't even make the jump sometime like this, because basically how it works is if you are here and you try to do a jump, you won't be able to make the jump. But if you're starting diagonally, you will have extra distance to make and you will be able to do the jump. So if you are right here, you will have enough distance because you will have to curve to make the jump. So that's basically how it works. So you standing jump here, you press forward and right until you hit the wall, back twists and jump here and grab this ledge. Also, another thing I still haven't talked about is grab cancel. Some people call it swing cancel, but I call that grab cancel, so you better get used to that. So basically what happens is when you grab a ledge, there is a slight animation before Lara can climb. So here it's not obvious because the platform under me is solid completely, but she got a slight animation. And if you just press action again quickly, like this, you can cancel the animation and immediately grab. So I'm going to show you one more time. You can cancel the animation and save some frames. So here it's not obvious that it saves frame, but for example, I'm going to try to show you. For example here. So here it doesn't matter. That's not what I want to show you. So for example here, you will see that the animation is much longer, like this. You will see that the animation is super long before you can climb. So if you just grab cancel, you can just climb immediately. So that's basically the principle. Then the next sequence, you have two choices to do. You can either climb like this, so it's like 2 or 3 seconds faster probably, maybe a bit less. or you can do a curve jump and a twist jump. So how it works is like this, and you curve here, and you directly land. So that sounds easy, but that's really not when you start. When you start, I recommend climbing, because that's not an easy sequence. So what you need to do is you need to land basically here, after you twist. You need to land here. In order to land here, you have a couple of choices. You can either do it more advanced way, you just feel the curving and you adjust midair. And here, for example, here I didn't make it, but you can eventually make it like this. And of course, when you land, you need to hold. Just when you land on the slope, you need to press forward, jump, and left. Why you don't need to press forward, but I already do that. Oh, I always do that. Sorry. Or what you can do is slightly turn here and do this strat, which is slightly more consistent. You can still fail it, but it's slightly more consistent. Basically, what you want to do is you want to get a boost from a wall, so it pushes you where you want. So here it's not going to work. Well, it still works because you can get a recovery, like that I'm going to mention, but you can still fail it. So you want to get kind of boost from a wall, and then you just hold forward, left and forward, and you jump, and it works. But what I prefer personally is for beginners, if you want to do that, you just kind of line up manually here and just jump here. Hold forward and left and you go for it. This is the best when you start and you want to do that jump. Just do like this and you turn manually. So as you can see that I did a recover here. So it looks like Lara was gonna fall, but she didn't. Because I did a recovery, I'm gonna try to show it, but it's not easy to get when you want to get it, of course. Basically how it works is Lara has an animation. Okay, it still haven't worked. Gonna try it 1 or 2 times, and if it doesn't work, I'm just gonna mention it. But the animation I got, basically I was supposed to fall. This is almost this animation, but you're supposed to fall, but if you press roll and left in this situation because you want to land on your left, if a platform would be on your right, you would have to press right. If you hold roll and left here, you will be able to steer recovery and Lara will land on top of a ledge. So that's basically how it works. You just hold roll and it works. And if you hold roll and release it at the right time, you will still be able, you won't roll, you will be able to keep running. I've mentioned that a couple of times in the glitch tutorial, especially in the Opera House starts. So if you want more details about that, just look at that. It's right at the start, the first corner bug in the glitch tutorial. Anyway, you go here, whatever you want to do. If you are able to and have reflexes, you can add a jump here. I'm going to show quickly. Like this, you can add a small jump here, but you can get stuck here if you don't get the right angle or whatever. Or you can just run and keep going. And here, we're going to land and roll on top of this thing, because we want to go there. So here, you have a couple of things to know. So you can just grab and land like here and keep going. Or you can have a quick emerging. The quick emerging basically is, so if you don't hold grab here in the end of your, when you fall, you will land here and you will lose a couple of seconds. I did mention that. So you want to grab, but you don't want to grab immediately, because if you grab immediately, it will be, you won't, you can, that can happen, for example, or you won't be able to have a quick emerging that I'm going to show you. So you want to grab, but you want to grab midair, kinda. You want to grab, for example, here. And you will be able to perform this quick emerging. Basically how it works is Lara has, if you don't press up at all, she will have this animation. But if you emerge at the same time she's supposed to have this animation, basically where Lara can, for example here, where Lara can put her feet on the ground, if you emerge at this specific time, she will cancel the animation and she will be able to keep walking. So how does that work? Basically, you want to swim up, and while you're about to emerge, you stop pressing back to swim up, and you switch to forward, so you can skip walk forward, like this. So if you look at my inputs, I released the jump button and the back button, and I switched to forward, like this. So as you can see, this is faster. Also, you wanna emerge here for the simple reason that there is this slight stair here, and you can, like, if you will go normally, you will do this, for example, and it will be a bit slower than I'm gonna show you. If you just hit the stair here, you can directly jump before the animation is over. It's slightly faster. So let's show you the whole sequence. You want to, oops, emerge. So here it was pretty bad. So I'm gonna show you again. Here, up, and you want to back twist here. Jump twist here. So you land here. And you're gonna perform a jump here. So I won't talk much about that emergent stuff because that's really a small detail. When you start, it doesn't really matter. But for advance, you need to get this emerging to save a second, right, basically. And then you're gonna do this jump. So this is pretty easy, just a simple jump. There is two situations. Either you land, when you land from your twist, you land on the bottom of the stair and you need to count 1, 2, 3. Or you land on the top of a stair, which can happen, and this is the optimized one, and you just have 2 steps to do to jump. So this is 2 choices. And also, I didn't mention, but you can grab guns on this. And then you pull that lever, and there's going to be a really big and interesting sequence. So basically my sequence for this, it's not that, definitely not that, but I have a sequence to get relatively consistently the next jump here. It's this sequence. And basically land in front of a hole. So what I do is I just draw my guns, turn, I jump once, jump a second time, count 4 jump, count 4 step, jump, count 3 step, and jump again. So I'm gonna show you again because I was a bit desynced. Jump, jump again, 1, 2, 3, 4, hitting the door, jump, 1, 2, 3, and jump. And then you try to, depending what's your angle, what you want to do is you want to make the jump. You want to curve the jump. I'm going to show you. So hop. This is important that you hit the door 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. You slightly, for example here, I slightly curved left because I knew my angle was too much right. So that's how it works basically. There is no miracle position and angle you need to do. This is basically a feeling stuff. So there is a couple of situations that I'm going to show you. So first you can stumble here. I'm going to show you if you curve too much right. If you curve too much right here, you will stumble here and you don't want that. So you don't want to curve too much right when you go back here. So hop. What I do is I try to align with a door. And then the camera will change. So that's why I draw my guns, because my guns stop the camera animation, the force camera I mean. And then once you reach the door, you just jump again, and you can free step and jump again. And then you line up. So it's totally depend on the angle you get. So for example, if you get that angle, you will be slightly too much left. So you'll have to curve right slightly to get a better position, because you will be too far to the kinda stones things. I'm talking about those things. there are kinda stone things. That's what's helping you to get the boost you want, well, the curve you want. And if you are too far from it, you won't get it. So you want to get that. So if you're too much left, for example, like here, you won't be able to be in front of a tunnel, and you will have to do this and lose 1 or 2 seconds. And if you are too much right, oops, if you are too much right, you will die. Like I'm going to show you for here, I'm too much right, and I'm going to die here. So this is really precise jump that you don't have to do when you start. But basically, the angle has to be here. Here it should be okay. So as you can see, I can get it. You don't need to draw your guns actually after you twist. I just do that for demonstration, but whatever. So if you get this angle, just hold left when you drop, and you will be able to enter into the wall. You want to press left when you're falling in the end, because if you don't, you won't have the best curving you want trying to do that. If you don't hold left, for example, if I don't hold left here, that will just happen, and that will be bad. You need to hold left when you drop. Press left, and if you're close enough, you will turn. And there is 3 situations when you land in the water that I'm going to quickly explain. You ever get the perfect one like this? It wasn't a perfect one actually. So you ever get this? This is a recovery one, so you don't get the curve you want, but the game thinks you're still in the right position, so you're able to just swim forward and reach the hole. And if you are too much left, you won't get anything of that. You will just have to swim left onto the wall this way. And if you get the perfect one, you just need to swim forward. I'm going to try to get it. So here I got the turn, I just swim forward and direct it to the key. So that's everything you need to know about that jump. There is another way to do the water thing. So you just jump here, you go here, and you go here. And you just curve. So that's much easier, but that's slower, like 1 or 2 seconds, maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure actually. But you can just jump in the water. And whatever you do, you go pick up a key, be prepared to land, to emerge. So you emerge here. And there is going to be a couple of things to know about this. So, first, you can be trolled by this tiger, easily. So the sequence I'm going to give you is theoretical, in theory that you don't get trolled by the tiger. If you get trolled by the tiger, you need to recovery, doing whatever you feel like. It depends where it pushes you, so I won't enter into detail about that. But basically, if you push you back, you will need to either add a running jump instead of a standing jump. If you push you forward, it will be the backwards, etc. It really depends on the situation. So my sequence is 1 forward jump, standing jump, and curve to the wall here to climb. So that's my sequence. So here I get pushed forward, but it doesn't matter because the push wasn't too big. But basically, I'm gonna kill it just to show you. So if you land here, basically when you land, you need to land here, roughly, and then you will be able to do a standing jump. So if a tiger pushes you too far, you will be in this position, and you won't be able to do the 2 jumps because you will be too close at some point, like this. You won't be able to do it. So you have to step back. Oops, I'm going to show you again. You have to step back and jump again, for example. And if he pushes you right here, for example, if you're not on the top of a stair, oops, if you're not on the top of a stair, you'll have to move forward once, and then you're going to be able to standing jump. So basically, if you land here, because he pushes you back, move forward once, standing jump, oops. Move forward once, standing jump, and then you go. So it really depends. My reference point is this stair here. So it really depends on your stair. If you're top of a stair, it's good. You just can stand and jump wherever you want. And then you just climb. Another thing that is important to mention is that I'm gonna wait for the birds because I need them. So here, there are birds here. If you try to climb where the birds are here, you won't be able to climb because they will annoy you. I'm gonna show you again. They are annoying like this, they will push you and you will be able to climb. If that happens, the solution is simply step back. Oops, I'm gonna show you again. You step back and you move forward again. So simple. So for example, if you control here, step back, move forward, and the bird will go away. That's basically how it works. So one last time. You step back, they will go away, and you are able to climb. So that's the most simple way of getting rid of a troll bird. So whatever you do. So here, if you are too much left, so even if Lara seems to be able to climb, she won't climb because she's slightly too much left, too much right. So you have to be careful about that too. That's basically it about that sequence, I think. So if you're feeling you're gonna be too much left, you just land calmly and you just turn and then jump forward. And then you go to this key. So it's completely useless killing those birds, so you don't do that in a run because it's too slow. So there's two ways of doing the next room. You can do the easy and slow way, which is just jump here on the stair and you do the jump here. This jump is fairly simple, so I'm not going to enter into detail. So you just jump one here, another time here, another time here, and you curve to jump here. And you do a back twist, jump twist here to land on the key. Or you get a harder, you can save a jump using a sequence that is not easy to do. So it's that sequence here. So that sequence is much harder because there is a manual curve to do. What I do is I do 1, 2, 3, 4. I jump again. And then I curve here. So it's hard to do by way it's playing. So basically when I land my jump here, I land generally my jump here. I slightly stop curving and I recurved between the two jumps so I can do it. It's pretty hard to explain. Basically, you want that on. You want to cut this corner, basically. This is really hard to explain and do it while explaining, but I don't recommend that when you start. And you will land here. So basically, you just want to cut the corner and curve really hard so you can save a jump. Like this. So this is the best situation you want, and then you have the same sequence. And why you want to do that? What you want to do is you want to kill a spider. It will be perfect. The reason being that you're gonna use the key soon, and the spider will come and eat you alive. So if you don't kill spiders, you will lose more health and be likely to use a med pack. So while you're doing this sequence, you want to try to kill a spider. Like this. So as you can see, if I don't explain, it's much easier. So you can watch my inputs while I'm doing it, because it's really hard to explain the curving. So here I stop curving and I recurve. So that's how it works. And you can have luck and kill the two spiders if you do the slow way, which is impossible to do if you do the fast way. If you do the slow way, you can kill two spiders, but it depends on the RNG. There is a spider on top, but it doesn't matter because it's not going to troll us when we're going to get back. And then there is the way to get back here. So if you go here, you won't be able to cancel anything. You will have to take a stumble. So what you need to do is you need to do to the right here, grab me there, and be able to press roll. Did I save or did I? No, I think I didn't. Okay, good. So how basically it works is you roll here, oops, you grab, and you're able to roll. If you don't grab, you won't be able to roll in the right direction. I'm going to show you. If you roll here, and if you roll again, you will face the wrong direction. So you need to grab to get closer to the edge you want to be, like this. Grab here, and you're close enough to roll and keep going forward. That's in order to avoid a stumble animation. And if you do it too soon, that will happen. And that's the worst case because you stumble and you lose health. So you don't want to do that. You really want to delay your grab. Like this. And then you land and you use the key. So as you can see, there is a spider eating me. That's why I killed one. And then there is 2 sequences possible. You either do 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, sorry. Missed the sequence. So you do 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you land directly on the pickup. So one last time. Up. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can jump at a third jump if you got a good sequence, or if you get pushed by a bird or something. But that doesn't happen often. Or you can get this sequence, which use the door collision to avoid getting a stumble against the wall. So basically how it works is you turn right, you hit the door like this, and you can have a third jump instead of doing 4-step. So basically because I'm gonna explain quickly something, because the running jump is the fastest way to move, like it's almost half faster than running, it's better to get sequences with jumps that have curves than just running. As long as basically you don't curve 50% more, you don't travel 50% more distance than you do with a running, for example. That's basically how it works. I'm gonna show you quickly. So for example, in this room, if you want to go to the block, you can do this, but it will be slower to do this, for example, because you will travel more 50% more distance than you would with a running. That's what I'm trying to explain. I hope it's clear. If it's not, just tell me again. So basically what it is you want to jump as much as you can, as long as you don't curve too much. So here it saves time because you don't curve too much, because basically the third jump cancel the 1, 2, 3, 4 here, 1, 2, 3, 4. You basically cancel those 8 steps by doing an extra jump, and it saves a bit of time. So that being said, whatever sequence you choose, you just pick up the pack here, which is med pack and a shotgun. So this is a pickup that you will pick up in both roads. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna do a running jump here, and you're gonna push that block. So you can even, there is 2 ways of doing that. You can do running jump, grab here and turn. Or you can do standing jump, which is slower than an orange jump, by the way, and then go running with the key, but it's a bit slower. So also there is a difference between a running jump and standing jump. A running jump is much faster than running, but a standing jump is only a couple of frames faster than running. So we won't use standing jump that much. We will use standing jump to cancel animations, or to get a better sequence and an easier way to get a sequence. that's basically what it is.
Uh-huh.
So whatever you do, you can just push this block, and that's why you want to keep your health at the start, because those spiders will hit you a bit. So that's the reason some people, when they start, gonna use a med. So in the spreadsheet for beginner routes, I suggested that you use the med in Great Wall when you start. But this is not an obligation. And then once you push the block, what you're gonna do is you're gonna press jump after you are on top of a stair. There is a stair here at your right. So you're just gonna press jump right after you get on top of it, and you will be able to have this sequence, which is basically the best sequence you can get. So just press jump here, you curve, so you don't leave a wall, and you just hold jump. And you can do a dive here, doesn't matter, doesn't really matter. Ooh, nice elf. So you just jump here, and you want to land on the left of a block here. Why? Because if you land on the middle of a block, there will be shuriken coming to you. I don't know what it is, I'm going to call it shuriken. And if you land on the right, it might be a problem with a wall. So you want to land on the left of a block here, so you are in the best position to do the next sequence. Next sequence is simple. You're gonna hold forward and you're gonna count 5 steps. Well, it's not really step, but I count the number of waves Lara does. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the best way. So if you do 4, you won't land far enough, so you won't be able to jump like I will do. And if you do 6, you will be hit by the blades. For example, here I'm unlucky, so I won't be. But you're likely to be hit by the blades if you do 6 waves. So what I do is I do 5. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to land. And then you can just jump and press forward. And it's slightly faster than just emerging and then swimming and then you climb here. So one last thing. Oops, I missed the sequence, but it doesn't matter. That's not what I want to show. So the sequence here depends only where you jump from. If you jump, for example, from here, I'm gonna try to show you. If you jump here, you will be touched by the blades because you did jump close enough to the end of the edge. So that's the only reason. Oops, I missed it again. Doesn't matter. So you want to start jumping when you're really close to the edge here. If you don't, you're going to get hit by the blades. So the camera is better if you don't stop. And you will be able to see where Lara feet are. Oops. So you want to delay slightly if you land too much. Not further enough. Not far enough, sorry. Whatever you do, you jump, press forward, and you land here. And you're gonna perform a sequence. So my sequence is just easy standing jump, and you do running jumps. And you will land on the slope here, almost at the end of the slope. And then you have 3 choices. So just 1 second time, 1, 2, 3, whatever. But you just standing jump and do running jumps. And it will work. So here there is 3 ways actually of doing the next part. You can either do the really easy part. There is actually 4, never mind. You can just stumble here, take the console, and run here. So this is the easy way. It's slightly slower than what I'm going to show you. There is this way where you just roll here and you do a curve here. So how it works is you just roll here, press forward, and when Lara starts having a forward animation, you hold right, and you jump at the right time. So here, because I paused, it didn't work because I lost my memory, but that's how it works, like this. And you need to jump at the right time too, so it's a bit tricky, like this. Or there is another way, you can twist here, roll when you land, and just jump forward here. So this is the other option possible. And there is a fourth one. The fourth one is the hardest. You can just land here, turn right, roll, and back twist here. So this is the hardest because basically there is a lot of things that can go wrong. It can be too much left. Okay, I wasn't too much left here, but if you're too much left, if you curve too much, you will just... If you don't curve enough, that will happen. And if you curve too much, you won't land in the hole. Showing you quickly. Like this. You won't land in the hole, so this is harder. I think this is slightly faster than the other ones, but it's the hardest. So whatever you do, take the one you're interested in. The easiest one is probably taking the stumble, probably. But it's whatever. Both are, all are fine. And the next sequence is just going to be running over blades, so there is nothing special about it. Just going to show you where to jump. So the first jump for the first blade needs to be here. Like if you're too far, well, here it still works, but if you jump too soon, that will happen. And that's not good because you will lose health and the sequence won't be good enough. And if you jump too late, you're going to be hit by the blades, like this, all the way through, like this, and that's not good either. So be careful about that. You want to jump here, oops, like one step behind where I stop. You want to jump here basically. So you need to anticipate that. I'm not displaying a step count here because it really depends on the strat you use in the previous room. And it really depends the way you jump in this tunnel, so it's really, you never get the same sequence, you just need to adapt. That's basically what it is. So you jump, and then you just do running jumps. You light a flare because you're gonna need a flare console soon. And if you jumped at the start where I told you to, you're gonna have two ways on doing the next room. You either can free stamp, you do a twist here, you roll, you land here, and you do this. So I'm gonna explain all the details. 1, 2, 3. You will land on the slope here. You grab, roll, curve slightly so you hit the collapsing tile. Gotta show you up, roll, touch collapsing tile, and right before the collapsing tile collapse, you're gonna press forward to have forward momentum, and you're gonna grab to not bump against the wall in front of you, and you're gonna flag cancel like this. It seems pretty technical, but it's really easy to do. Like you just up, roll, up, forward, grab, flag cancel. So if you don't press grab, that will happen. Well, here I was lucky, but if you're too close to the wall, you will stumble. And you will lose a couple of frames. And there is a hard sequence, which is slightly faster than that, save half of seconds at least. So instead of 3 steps, you need 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you have 2 choices. You either you do this is the sequence first. So there's 2 choices. 1, 2, 3, 4. You will either hit Lara will hit her head and stumble in the wall behind her, like here. No, she didn't here. I'm gonna try again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, she didn't here. It would be the best, but still. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like this. So here she hits the wall, so you didn't need to press grab. And you just, when you learn, you just turn, roll, turn again. Well, I'm gonna show it again, but because it's hard to explain. But 1, 2, 3, 4. What you do is you hit it, turn, roll, and once you roll, you hold forward and left, and she will have that curve perfectly. And then you will grab and do the flare cancel like in the first part, like in the first way. 1, 2, 3, 4. You didn't need, she didn't need a wall here. I'm gonna show you both situations. Up, turn, roll, curve, grab, and here. And as you can see, when I land, the blades are more right than in the previous method. That means it was faster. And the other way is, if you don't get the thing, you can late grab here and get the same situation here. If you don't late grab, she will be too far away to roll against the wall. So you have to be prepared to grab, because if you don't grab, that won't go well. So here she stumbles, so it's good. But if she doesn't stumble, you need to be prepared to grab. Gonna try to get one last time what I want to show you. So once you see she didn't hit her head, you need to grab, basically. That's how it is. So of course here I'm unlucky, so I can't get the thing I want. Like this. So you grab here, and you do exactly the same thing. And then you can't free step instead of, you don't jump immediately, because if you jump immediately, you might get a stumble against the top of against the wall here. So for example, I can get this, and if you're not fast enough, the blades can just roll on you if you use the other methods. So you have to be careful about that. So what I do is I jump here and count 1, 2, 3, and I never get it, and then I jump again. And then there is a sequence to this thing, which I forgot how to call. Whatever. So the sequence is basically this one. So the sequence is, I'm going to show you what's my reference point. My reference is this. It's this texture here. Basically, there is a line here where you can jump from and directly land where you want to. So basically, that's my reference point, like this. If you land before, if you jump before that, you will be one step behind it. If you jump one forward this, you will just die and fall and die. Like this, for example. Like this. So that's basically my reference point. You can get any reference point you want, but that's the one I use. And it's pretty efficient. Or what you can do is just, you can jump once and just run there. And just use it. And then you just drop it and you just jump to the end. And depending on the tiger RNG, you will be good or not. And that's it for Great Wall, sorry. So this is the first video, then it's gonna come soon, and thanks a lot for watching, and see you next time. If you have any question, as usual, you can ask in the description, and yeah, that's it. See you.